I'm Lenny Baticki. This week on Wind Tunnel.
He scored his first NASCAR Cup victory 2 weeks ago in Northern California. He's Daniel Suarez.
It's good. It was a great time. But now, I'm slowly trying to flip the pace and move forward and see ahead.
Ben Byrne started his career wheeling Enduro cars and now finds himself atop the New Hampshire short track Whitcomb 5 modified series.
We've struggled at Claremont. I mean, to be fair, we haven't spent a lot of time there. I think we've got 4 or 5 races in that place, like ever, before we came into the Whitcomb event.
And with 3 IndyCar victories this season, Josef Newgarden heads to Mid-Ohio this weekend looking for win number 4.
It does get very interesting on this stretch of the championship, and people really start to posture and figure out who's the real challengers in this championship race. And I think we're one of them. I think we can be in that fight.
Time to buckle up because Wind Tunnel is cranking up.
You're entering the Wind Tunnel. No spin, no bull, just Jack. Wind Tunnel is brought to you by Advance Auto Parts, the official auto parts retailer of NASCAR. Here's your Wind Tunnel host, Jack Arute.
Welcome. I'm glad you decided to join me this week. Now, my 3 guests are waiting in the wings, but before we get to them, I need to get you caught up on all of the action from this past weekend. First up, let's check in on the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series action with Performance Racing Network's Lenny Baticki.
Thanks a lot, Jack. This is your NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Racing Series report. We'll start out at the Concrete Jungle, Kingsport Speedway in Tennessee. Chris Van Dyke, a winner there. Salina High Banks in Kansas to Bobby Wolf. Darren Schmidt, a winner at Lakeside. Motor Mile in Virginia. Brad Foy and Carl Budzeski split the victories. Brendan Queen, a winner at Langley Speedway and Dominion. Parking it in Victory Lane, Lane Riggs. Todd Sherman, a winner at Limaland in Ohio. Rockford, Illinois to John Reynolds Jr. Johnny Clark gets the checkers at Seekonk Speedway in Massachusetts. Magic Valley Speedway in Idaho to Ken Fricke. Dalton Christiani gets the win at Meridian. Monadnock in New Hampshire to Ben Byrne. Dave Greenslit, the winner at Hudson. And at Claremont, it was Ricky Bly. Brad Derry, a winner at Adams County in Iowa. Berlin Raceway, Marne, Michigan. That's where Evan Shotko and Tom Thomas split the wins. C.J. Leary, a winner at Madison International Speedway in Wisconsin. Cedar Lake to Jesse Radetsky. Bobby Russell got the win at Central Missouri. Coos Bay in Oregon to Wayne Butler. Kyle Soper, the winner at Riverhead Raceway in New York. Eastbound Park in Canada, Mark Antoni Cameron getting the win. Sunset Speedway to Parker Travis. Owen Giles, the winner at Elko Speedway in Minnesota. Evergreen Raceway in Washington to Garrett Evans. Winston-Salem, North Carolina's Bowman Gray Stadium. The modified wins to both Burt Myers and Jonathan Brown. Barry Audi got the win at Jennerstown, Pennsylvania. And Grandview Speedway grooving for Brett Kresley. That's your NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Racing Series report. Thanks for having us, Jack. We'll see you next time.
NASCAR took their premier divisions to Nashville, Tennessee last weekend. On Friday, it was the Camping World Truck Series on Nashville's Super Speedway with the running of the Rackley Roofing 200. And when the checkered flag flew, it was Ryan Preece taking down the honors for the 2nd year in a row.
Hocevar now to the inside of Zane Smith for 2nd, but that's just what Ryan Preece wants to see. He wants to see those 2 battling. It's going to be Ryan Preece going back-to-back at Nashville.
I just want you guys to know a lot of this is built in the shop. The speed is built in the shop, and these guys work their tails off, and I know what it takes to win races, and they give me phenomenal race cars. So, and we get a 2nd guitar. I might have to start a band.
Next, it was the Xfinity Series running the Tennessee Lottery 250.
This will be win number 2 on the 2022 season. And Justin Allgaier is going to win in Nashville.
I wanted to win in Las Vegas for a long time, boys. And that was a butt-kicking, awesome job. Awesome job. Thank y'all boys so much. Man, never gets old driving a race car that good. I can assure you of that.
What a heck of a race, man. I've been coming here a long time and love this racetrack. And been trying to go to victory lane so bad and haven't been able to do it. So today was for the dirt racers, though, because it was slick, it was hot, we were sliding around, and just proud of this team. Everybody at GD Motorsports, the Hendrick Engine Shop. To get Helmets back in victory lane, obviously they've been a staple at GD Motorsports for a long time.
I'll get back to the Sunday curtain closer at Nashville, but Saturday night saw round 2 of the SRX series, and the track was the famous South Boston Speedway.
White flag is out, final lap here at South Boston. Looks like Biffle just cooled it down and tried to catch him, but couldn't get it done. The man on the night in SRX race number 2 for this season is Tony Stewart. Last year's champion wins it.
What was the most satisfying part of the win tonight for you, for the show you put on for those fans?
Seeing these fans cheering when we got the lead every time. That's what kept the motivation going. It's not like I need much motivation, but when you got fans at South Boston cheering like that every time you get the lead, by God, you aren't going to let them down.
In Watkins Glen, New York, IMSA pitched their tent for their running of a 6-hour endurance race. And at the finish,
a little bit of a gamble on the fuel, and it looks like they're going to make it. Philippe Albuquerque, Ricky Taylor take the checkers to win the Salem 6 Hours of the Glen. And the celebration begins.
Wow. And this is the battle for the win in LMP2. That's Huffaker and Delatraz. 1 corner to go with traffic in the way.
The Riley gets through traffic. Delatraz has the run there to the line, and it's LMP2 victory going to the Riley. Ben Keating, Mikael Jensen, and Scott Huffaker have taken the win at the Glen.
The weekend's racing drew to a close at the Nashville Superspeedway with the Cup Series running of the Ally 400. But Mother Nature stretched the 400-miler into their version of an endurance race with weather stoppages that pushed the checkered flag well into the night.
Chase Elliott has the spot. Kurt Busch running second. Blaney has moved up to third and contacted into the wall. Brad Keselowski gets into the wall after the contact from the 41 of Custer. They stay green.
Stay up, stay up, stay up.
Keselowski down to the access road. Chase Elliott coming back to the white flag. 1 lap to go. Chase Elliott down the backstretch for the final time. A huge lead over Kurt Busch, running in second. Looking for his second win of the 2022 season. He'll get it at Nashville Superspeedway. Chase Elliott wins.
Yo, baby. Good stuff, boys.
Ryan gave me a great show. Appreciate him doing me a solid there and getting us out front. So just so proud of our team. We had a kind of a setback there about halfway and get back in the mix. So it was a long day, fun day. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. And they're fired up. I love it.
Now you are caught up on all of this past weekend's action. So let's switch gears and get to this week's guest. He's our Advance Auto Parts Victory Lap guest. Ben Byrne is first up right here on Wind Tunnel.
Hey, car lovers. At Advance Auto Parts, we have what you need to keep your car running all season long. So if you enjoy getting ahead of the curve when it comes to taking care of your ride, Advance Auto Parts has everything to keep your ride on track to reach the victory lap. Because you can trust the team at Advance Auto Parts to assist you in finding what you need at the right price. Stop by Advance Auto Parts, where you're always number one.
This is how we advance.
Man, this is for all those guys. There's a ton of them out there that are like me, that have won here and all these great short tracks around here. We can do it. We just need the opportunities. Today proved it. Yeah, it's a short track, but it's still damn hard to win here, and we did it.
They are hometown heroes, drivers who put their passion on the line in front of their friends.
Here we go, 3-1, got Sellers up in the marble.
Halfway home in this one. Off turn 4, he heads for the checkered flag.
Here comes Riggs. Riggs is back at it on the inside.
Buckle up and hold on tight.
Time now to focus the spotlight on hometown heroes with this week's Advance Auto Parts Victory Lap. Brought to you by the NASCAR Advance Auto Parts Weekly Racing Series, driving local racing in local communities forward.
Taking a victory lap today is a man that used a daring last 2 laps of the Weaver Brothers construction 125 to score his first victory in the Whitcomb 5 Series at Claremont Speedway a couple of weeks ago. Ben Byrne joins us now. Ben, that was a spectacular performance in the closing moments of that race.
You guys are as surprised as I am, for sure.
Why's that?
We've struggled at Claremont. I mean, to be fair, we haven't spent a lot of time there. I think we've got 4 or 5 races in that place like ever before we came into the Whitcomb event. So we've struggled with setup to try to get something stable underneath me. And we went up there a couple Wednesdays ago, did an open practice, and we were still kind of mediocre. And I mean, all the way up through qualifying. I mean, we qualified 16th, which is nothing fantastic to begin with, but you know, we just kept throwing things at it, and we changed everything again for the feature, and we started making a few laps in the feature. I'm like, holy crap, we got something good here.
And we should point out that, you know, unique to the Whitcomb Series as compared to what you're used to in the New Hampshire Short Track Racing Association, that's part of the Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series in the state of New Hampshire, is there's a stage break. You run 75 laps, and then you get the last 50 laps. So if all of a sudden in that first 75, you had that, holy crap, I've got something really good here. When you pulled in at the stage break, what did you tell your crew? Don't touch it?
Exactly. I'm like, change the tire and that's it. Just change the tire, making an air pressure adjustment change to compensate. And that's it. We're going back up.
When you look at this series, it's brought a unique aspect to New Hampshire short track racing. There's tons, as you know, there's tons of tour type modified racing, but for the crate type series, crate motors or SKs, it's somewhat more limited. So having this for guys like Ben Byrne and the rest of the New Hampshire Short Track Racing Association mod squad, how important is it?
These cars are strictly momentum. If you are not bumper to bumper with a guy in front of you, you make one mistake, you lose 3-4 car lengths behind them. You got to set up 3 or 4 laps ahead of time to figure out what you're going to do to make a pass. And just if you slide just a little bit, like I said, you're losing feet by the second.
So now you're into the final, which will be back at a more familiar track for you. Now that, of course, will come in September. But in between, you've got outings coming up in July at Lee, New Hampshire, and then at Hudson, which, to be quite honest with you, I'm looking at that Hudson event and saying that could be the spoiler maker, because not a lot of people have a great deal of experience running these modifieds at the Hudson Oval.
It's going to be interesting. Lee, I'm excited to go to Lee. We've been to Lee a few times. We've had some good results there, so I'm fairly confident going into that one. But Hudson's going to be that's going to be interesting. It's a lot of cars on a little track, a little unforgiving track. So it's I think attrition's going to play a bigger role in that one than I think being the faster car.
Why does the Byrne family become so immersed in the world of short track racing?
It started way back in the day. My dad did, and my uncle did a lot of enduro racing at Monadnock, you know, back when Those Who Dare, all that started up. And then my dad did some SCCA road course stuff. And then him and my uncle got together again. They started running modifieds for a few years down at Riverside Park and Claremont and Monadnock. And then he moved to North Carolina, my uncle did, and all that dissolved. And a few years later, I'm starting to poke my head out of the bushes and be like, hey, I want to, you know, drive a car. I get my driver's license soon. And Dad's like, oh boy, all right, well, let's see what you can do. And it's, I don't know, downhill or uphill ever since, depending on how you look at it.
Tell me the first night that you strapped yourself in a race car and went out on the racetrack, and what your feelings and sensations were.
Just that kind of, oh my God, what am I doing? What have I gotten myself into? I started out in the Enduros at Monadnock myself as well. So I accredit a lot of my driving in traffic to that, is, you know, that you get kind of thrown to the wolves with that, and it's sink or swim. And I think that's taught me a lot of lessons moving up through the ranks as to how to deal with traffic, how to, you know, mitigate your moves and look further ahead than just the bumper.
The Advanced Auto Parts NASCAR Weekly Racing Series has really injected a lot of enthusiasm and a connection back to short tracks and NASCAR's premier levels of racing. So in the case of Ben Byrne, do you have aspirations for anything beyond maybe winning a track title for Advanced Auto Parts?
I'd love to win a track title, I'd like to win the Whitcomb title. And, I've never had a Division I championship either. So that would be amazing for me. That would be a great achievement. We'll just see how it goes. We've got a long season still.
For someone that has never raced, that maybe is listening to our conversation, how would you describe the juice that you feel when you're out there competing on a racetrack?
Speaking more to the modifieds themselves, it's a whole nother animal. Those things pull over 3 Gs in the corners. It's like a gorilla's trying to rip you out of the passenger seat when you're going through the corners of those things. So if you're not used to that and you're not expecting that, it's a learning curve. A lot of thing I've found is trusting your car. There's just an abnormal amount of grip in these cars, and it's unnatural to feel confident that it's going to hold at that kind of G-force in the corner. And once you kind of get a hold of that, I think the rest of it starts to fall into place a little bit.
Is racing still a side hustle? What do you do for a living?
Me and my father owned a salvage yard as well as a automotive repair shop and a towing business. So we stay plenty busy. We stay plenty busy for sure.
All right, nobody's listening, but how often have you had a car in to be repaired, and it's Thursday, and you need to get ready for Monadnock on Saturday, and the customer calls, and you've really spent more time on your race car than you have on his vehicle? How do you spin that one, my friend?
Luckily, I have people. I have mechanics that work there 24/7, so I get to be more of I just put out fires for the most part. Wherever there's trouble is where I go. So I usually throw that on my service writer and be like, hey, you need to call this guy. It's not going to be ready today.
Listen, it's always a pleasure. Congratulations. You realize you have a 1-point lead in the point standings. And more importantly, you joined Todd Patnote as guaranteed starters in the finals and going after the Whitcomb Series bonus money. So got 2 more races, like we said. But you certainly had the crowd at Claremont. If you were surprised in the race car, they were cheering you on lap after lap. Thanks so much for joining us today on Minto.
Thanks for having me.
You take care, Ben.
You too.
You've been listening to the Advance Auto Parts Victory Lap, brought to you by the NASCAR Advance Auto Parts Weekly Racing Series, driving local racing in local communities forward.
Hey, car lovers. At Advance Auto Parts, we have what you need to keep your car running all season long. So if you enjoy getting ahead of the curve when it comes to taking care of your ride, Advance Auto Parts has everything to keep your ride on track to reach the victory lap. Because you can trust the team at Advance Auto Parts to assist you in finding what you need at the right price. Stop by Advance Auto Parts, where you're always #1.
This is how we advance.
Welcome back to your podcast home for motorsports conversation. Jack Arute's Wind Tunnel.
Josef Newgarden is a Long Beach Grand Prix winner.
A lot of work today, wasn't it?
Sure. I wasn't going to get the fun, guys.
Saw that. Go out here and get the flag.
Teammate is coming. Here comes Josef Newgarden on the high side.
One looking outside.
It's going to be a drag race. Newgarden has done it. Newgarden wins on the final lap.
Man.
Josef Newgarden with that people-ready Force for Good $1 million being shared between the team and a charity of his choice. Josef Newgarden has done it at Road America. What a drive. That's $1 million drive.
Well, he's better known as one of the top drivers in the NTT IndyCar series, but after his performance at Road America, maybe we should add to Josef Newgarden, the $1 million man. Amazing performance. We'll talk about the race in just a minute, but the $1 million that was up for grabs that you got to split half between your crew and half between 2 of your favorite charities. Josef, that's got to be an amazing accomplishment. And, you took care of business on a street course, on an oval, and then on a permanent road course. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. We're obviously, to your point, we're very thankful to People Ready, Force for Good, putting up this challenge. I get into a weekend and I get so focused on just winning the race because we're there to win a race. And the fact that there's this bonus of $1 million and half of it's going to be able to go to charity and we were able to win it. was so big for the charities that I'm going to send them to. Serious Fun Children's Network and Wags and Walks out of Nashville. They're both thrilled. They're going to get $250,000 a piece from this, which is, I think very life-changing in some ways, especially for Wags and Walks out of Nashville, who they're just trying to build a permanent facility. They're a dog rescue out of Nashville here. So big deal. Very happy and honored to be able to do it. After securing that, we're just focused on the championship at this point.
You got busy right off the trailer, Josef. What was the key? Did very, very well, qualified on the front row, and then it was a typical Road America performance. Whenever the IndyCars get there, a variety of strategies, and on several occasions, I had to imagine for you an awful lot of trust on the guy calling the shots atop your pit box, because you looked like you were out of it, but really what you were doing was putting together a strategy that counted back from the last lap rather than deal with the moment at the time.
Yeah, absolutely. It starts with having a good car. We had a good car all weekend. Right away, practice one, I was pretty happy. Felt like we had left off from where we were the year before, and qualified pretty well. And then in the race, it was a matter of trying to stay in touch with Rossi. File into second was a big deal for us. I thought we might get pushed back a little bit at the start, which can happen starting second at Road America. There's a long straightaway. Just start the race, and starting second, you feel a little bit exposed, like people can just run right by you, especially the people following the leader. But we filed in second, and then to your point, after that first stint, or really within the first stint, there's some people that stopped early on one of the cautions, and we elected not to. We tried to wait until our window opened for that first pit stop, and you don't know how that's going to go. Sometimes that can go the wrong way, and it can favor the people that stop sooner than you. But we felt pretty confident that staying out was the right thing to do. And fortunately, it worked out just fine for us, the way it all filed in. So yeah, you have a lot of trust in your team and what they're seeing and what they're doing. And, I try and give my input and drive the car well, and hopefully it all lines up.
I got to tell you, you seem to rise above the occasion. Anytime the media, before they drop the green flag, says, oh, insert the name other than Josef Newgarden, insert a name, he's already got it locked up. What comes to mind is St. Pete earlier this year. You kind of take that as an additional motivation. After Rossi's performance during practice and then that P1 in qualifying, an awful lot of people had already said, this is Rossi's race to lose. Forgive me, but I don't think he lost it. I think literally you won it. You beat him in his own game.
Well, I mean, I would, if you're asking me how we felt pretty confident that we could win that race. We felt confident going into qualifying that we could qualify in pole. And obviously we just missed it, by a little bit over Alex. And look, Alex did an amazing lap. He was very deserving of the pole, and, certainly was very quick all weekend. Like you said, we knew he was going to be probably one of, if not our biggest challengers on the weekend. And we saw that right from the beginning, and it was no different in the race. I think he was the toughest guy to beat on the day. But I certainly felt confident in what we were doing. It felt like we had a car to, go to the finish. We had plenty of speed, and if we play things right, there's no reason we can't win on the day. So I felt that all the way throughout. But you can't discount what Alex was doing on the weekend. I think he had a very strong presence and was by no means, easy to beat.
You alluded to the fact that maybe some people were already focusing too much at the tip of the spear in the points chase. But with that victory, now you got 3 under your belt, and you are right smack dab in the middle of the points chase. And we tend to forget, Josef. Now we turn the corner. The second half of the season is on board. So during this brief hiatus before next up is Mid-Ohio, what are you and your Team Penske team really trying to concentrate on, not only for Mid-Ohio, but for the rest of the season?
Well, it's really consistency is the most important thing, but we have a long way to go, as you just described. We're not even technically halfway. We're very close to it.
Yeah, that's right.
We're very close. We're within half a race of being halfway.
You know what? Leave it to you to be that precise, okay?
But I know my countdowns. I know exactly how long we've got to go. And it does get very interesting on this stretch of the championship. And, people really start to posture and figure out, who's the real challengers in this championship race. And I think we're one of them. I think we can be in that fight, but we've got to be consistent. There's, it's a little bit boring, but there's no way around it. These championships are built off of every single race. It's not one race that make or breaks the championship. It's really the culmination of everything. So, you know, we break it down and it's one event at a time. If you maximize each event individually, then, you know, the championship should take care of itself. We've just got to focus on being good across, you know, the whole board.
All right. So when you survey, and I will correct myself, the almost halfway point in the season, when you look at the individual events that lie ahead, tell me one, not that is going to determine the championship, because I agree with what you just said, but the one that you look at and say, you know what, that's going to be challenging and is going to demand the ultimate in my racecraft and the best prep from my team.
Well, they're all difficult. They really are. It's hard to choose one. I think Iowa is going to be very critical. It's technically a double points race. It's 2 races on the weekend. So you look at that as kind of a double point situation, just like Indianapolis. So I think Iowa is very key on the calendar. You know, we want to emphasize that and make sure we have a good weekend there. That's probably what I would highlight the most, but you know, they're all difficult in their own ways, but Iowa with the double points is certainly a highlight for us.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the first victory that you've experienced as a dad.
You know, I totally forgot about that.
Just like the people ready $1 million. There you go.
I don't think about it. I'm so locked in. I'm just locked in on going to the track and doing my job. But you're right. It is the first win that I've had as a dad. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. You know, unfortunately, Kodo, my son, was not there with us. So he didn't get to experience that. But it is, you know, it's exciting times. Things are changing around here.
You know, some of us have been fortunate enough to follow you up through the ranks, from karting to, you know, finally signing with Team Penske to winning a championship. And along the way, you've grown up, Josef, and you've grown up in the world of IndyCar racing. You've made some decisions. I remember visiting with you when you and at that time, I believe it was still your fiance, decided, you know what, I don't need to be right next door to Team Penske in North Carolina. I want to go back to my home. I want to go back to Nashville. And you did that. And the decisions that the Newgarden family are making now, are they still predicated on your career, or is it like the key to having a winning race car? Balance between the two of them, the private life and what you do for a living.
I think it's very heavily dictated on the balance. You know, moving to Nashville moment was really good for us in a lot of ways. And, you know, I felt like it wasn't going to detract from my performance. If anything, it would just enhance it in some ways and bringing that balance. And yeah, I think all our other decisions from this point will be in the same respect. They'll just try and, you know, be off of balance. And, you know, for me, the racing stuff is still a heavy commitment. It's very front of mind for me. You know, what is going to give me the best performance and what's going to give our team the best opportunity to get the most out of me. So I'm always thinking about that a lot, but you know, the balance of the family it's even more important now, and it's going to change than what it used to be. When it was just Ashley and me, that was a very different world than having 3 of us. So, you know, we'll navigate that, but I think, you know, trying to keep the balance is important. And I've seen the benefits of that.
Well, I want to go back to that people ready $500K that you get. And I know it's shared with the team, but is there any left that maybe Ashley could go out and have a day at the mall, so to speak, or, you know, a girl's day to just shop her brains out? Or are you handing it all over to the team?
Oh, I don't even know how we're divvying this up yet, but there's, regardless of the people ready money, there's plenty that we're going to be able to go do and make sure mom's taken care of, and we'll make sure to do that. So I've got it covered.
Just like you have the race at Road America covered. Hey, congratulations. Always a treat to sit down and spend a little time with you. Thanks, Josef.
Thanks, Jack. See ya.
Stay where you are, because there's plenty more to come on Wind Tunnel after this timeout.
Sonoma Raceway, the perfect setting for America's best drivers.
Next up on Wind Tunnel.
Suarez is driving the race of his career.
All right, Brett, all yours here. No pressure. Bring him up. Piñata, boys. Auto, boys! Yeah!
Daniel Suarez is a NASCAR Cup winner.
So damn proud of you. Awesome job. How about that, amigo? Burn it down, brother. I love you. I love you. Love you guys. Yeah. This is ours.
Hey, car lovers. At Advance Auto Parts, we have what you need to keep your car running all season long. So if you enjoy getting ahead of the curve when it comes to taking care of your ride, Advance Auto Parts has everything to keep your ride on track to reach the victory lap. Because you can trust the team at Advance Auto Parts to assist you in finding what you need at the right price. Stop by Advance Auto Parts, where you're always number one.
This is how we advance.
Through turn 12, Daniel Suarez is a NASCAR Cup winner. You gotta love it when nice guys finish first.
Welcome back to your podcast home for motorsports conversation, Jack Arute's Wind Tunnel. Here's your host, Jack Arute.
Well, that's the way it sounded when my next guest here inside the wind tunnel scored his first career victory in the NASCAR Cup Series. We're talking about mi amigo, Daniel Suarez. Daniel, congratulations. The gorilla is finally off your back.
Finally, and it really feels good. It really feels good to have that damn gorilla off. But yeah, it's been a good time, being part of Tri-House, being a part of the 99 team. We have been strong already for a while, but there is a big gap between being strong and closing the deal. And obviously, we were able to close the deal 10 days ago in Sonoma, and it was a special for the race itself. It was California. It's like my house. We had Daniel's Amigos. We had Kinsey in there, a huge friend of ours that is battling brain cancer, and she was super happy, and she was on the car, and she was in victory lane with us. So a lot of special things happened to us in Sonoma, and it was special. It was very, very good.
As I watched and cheered and felt good inside about you finally conquering that hurdle, you got very emotional. And I say emotional, it was almost as if all of the difficult times, all of the challenging times flashed in front of you, and then this kind of vanquished all of that, put it aside. Well, now that you've had almost 2 weeks to think about it, has it really totally sunk in?
It has. I think it has. I've been, I obviously talked to a lot of people, a lot of close friends, and the ones with a lot of experience, they told me, said, Daniel, make sure that you take a moment and realize everything that is happening, because it's special. It's history, not just for myself, but for the sport, and that's special, and that's going to happen only once. If you think about it, the first win is going to happen only once, and the first win for a Mexican driver in the Cup Series is going to happen only once. So all these kind of things, they're in the past, and we enjoy them a lot. I mean, we keep enjoying them right now. I mean, we keep talking about them, but I really took the time. I mean, it was perfect because we had the off week, so I had the time to slow down myself and be thankful for everything that we have and everything that we're doing. I'm not doing this by myself. I have a great team of people around me that without them, I couldn't do what I do on Sundays. So it's quite special. I'm very, very happy to be in this position.
So what was it like when you finally got back to Mexico right after Sears Point in that Toyota Save Mart 350? What was the reception like with your countrymen?
It was very good. My mom and my sisters, they organized a surprise party that night with my friends and my family, just a few of them. But yeah, it was very good. I was very tired though. I just wanted to go to bed, but yeah, it was great. This, like I said, like it could have worked out better. I spent a lot of time with the people I love, the people that have seen me grow. Yeah, My family, my friends. I would say the only person that I wasn't able to spend a lot of time with was my girlfriend Julia, because I flew to Mexico and she flew to Brazil to see her family, and we had already those plans made for a long time. So, but other than that, I spent a lot of time with the people I love. So that was quite special. And like I said, I was able to relax, think about all the moments, think about all the sacrifices, think about all the tough times, the good times, and think about what we were able to accomplish together.
I need to ask you, my friend, who came up with the taco piñata?
Well, with the idea or with the piñata itself?
Yeah, who came up with the idea? Because that's going to become your winning signature, much the way Chastain, your teammate, smashes a watermelon. I loved it.
Yeah, I think the piñata idea came from different people, but the taco piñata, I think, was actually from my PR Drew. I think he mentioned it as a joke, and I didn't even know that they actually make a taco piñata. So it's kind of funny because it's a very Mexican thing. In Mexico, it's a big deal, and every person that I know in Mexico that already saw these videos on the piñata, they connected with that, and they told me, Daniel, that was an incredible idea. It's so now it's so me, so Mexican. So it's good. It was a great time. But now, I'm slowly trying to flip the page and move forward and see ahead. And I'm looking forward to keep working hard, and hopefully we can break some more piñatas in the near future.
You and I have talked through your career, and one of the senses I got is this season, your friendship away from the racetrack with Travis Mack, finally was beginning to yield dividends for you when you got inside the race car. You finally, the two of you, it was like you were married for 50 years because you could complete each other's sentences, and that made you a better team.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that we're going to continue to get better. I think Travis Mack has done an incredible job, not just working with myself, but being a great leader from the 99 team. He's a huge part of the people that we have in this team. He works extremely hard. He knows me very well. He already knows what I like and what I don't like. He knows my style. We have talked a lot about, what I need from him, how I want him to react. I want him to be relaxed, to be calm. And if you actually listen to the radio in the last 15 laps, it didn't sound like we were about to win a race. Everyone was very relaxed, and I like that, because when everyone is stressed, they stress me out too. So, we're getting to know each other very, very well. I have a great group of people. Travis is already the leader of that group, but there is a lot of more people, more people that is responsible of these results: mechanics, engineers, pit crew members, it's just truck drivers. Like there is just so many people, PR, everyone that makes this team what it is. It's not just me or Travis. It's a group of over 100 people that is making these cars go fast and is making these results go everywhere. So it's amazing being part of this group.
Well, in the group itself, the dynamics, I think the mission statement that your car owner Justin Marks, and now even Pitbull, with all that he's doing with his Slam Academies, and it's leaving something beyond just the racetrack. Quite honestly, Daniel's Amigos, your entire Trackhouse operation is always trying to give back to the community. And I would think for someone like you to be in a leadership position and give back to a community has got to make all of your success even more so than just somebody winning a checkered flag.
Totally, man. That's why Trackhouse is so special, and this place is special. I'm very, very happy, and I felt I woke up almost every morning very thankful for everything that we have in the position that we have that we are. Think about it. How many people in this world do what they love to do, what they truly love to do every single day and every single weekend. I mean, we're very, very lucky, and we have to realize that, and if we don't give back to our people, our communities, and the people that support us, and the people that watch for us pretty much every day, I feel like, it would be a little bit selfish. So I felt like, we have definitely the heart in the right place, and I'm not talking about just about myself. I'm talking about everyone in Trackhouse. So it's quite a special group that we have.
All right, so now your ticket's punched to the playoffs. You and your teammate, the Trackhouse team is headed to the playoffs, both of you. So I wonder, what's your outlook for the rest of this season, the regular season? Will you and T-Mac just go after victories, or will it be a case where you try to build your book for when it really counts, and that's the chase for a championship and make it all the way to Phoenix to the finals?
I'm going to be very honest with you. I haven't even think about the playoffs. For me, in my mind, we still have 10 races before the playoffs, and those are 10 races which we can win some more races, we can get more playoff points, and we can, focus on that for now. I mean, I feel that I have always believed that to take care of the future, you have to take care of the present, and the present is Road America. So we have to take care of the present, and the future is going to take care of by itself. But yeah, I mean, I think that once we get a couple of weeks away from the playoffs, maybe I can give you a real idea. But for now, I'm just so excited to be in Nashville, so excited for Road America. Every road course, I feel like we have had a shot to win. So the next 2 months and a half are going to be unbelievable for us.
Well, it's going to be fun to watch you and the team as well. My best wishes to you and to Julia, and hopefully when she got home in Brazil, somebody helped her out on how to cook the rice. We have that ongoing joke going all the time. But in all seriousness, tough times never last, but tough people do. And you're one tough hombre, my friend.
Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate that. And I always say the best is ahead. Let's keep pushing.
You got it. Thanks, Daniel, and good luck.
Thank you, man. Bye-bye.
I'll close out this weekend show after you listen to this.
Hey, car lovers. At Advance Auto Parts, we have what you need to keep your car running all season long. So if you enjoy getting ahead of the curve when it comes to taking care of your ride, Advance Auto Parts has everything to keep your ride on track to reach the victory lap. Because you can trust the team at Advance Auto Parts to assist you in finding what you need at the right price. Stop by Advance Auto Parts, where you're always number one.
This is how we advance.
I hope you enjoyed this week's Wind Tunnel, and I ask you to pass on news about the show to your friends. That way, we can grow the Wind Tunnel series. I'll be back again next week, but until then, I'm Jack Arute. Thanks so much for joining me right here inside the Wind Tunnel.
You've been listening to Jack Arute's Wind Tunnel. Wind Tunnel is brought to you by Advance Auto Parts, the official auto parts retailer of NASCAR. Follow us on our social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And be sure to subscribe to Wind Tunnel's YouTube channel, where you'll discover bonus content. I'm Lenny Baticki of Performance Racing Network's At the Track Show, saying thank you for joining us today. See you again next week.